Enclosure for lurch. It's got the cork bark right there, and I've left it up so that he can get under it, because he likes to go under stuff. So he's got enough room to go under that. Might even push it down a little bit. And then I use that Fluker's Benda bark to make that little tree-like thing. I think it looks kind of natural, like a branch. So I've given him plenty to web up on, and it's adjustable. You can bend it and change it. So hopefully we've got everything in here that he'll need to be happy for some time. So now we're going to take the vial that he's in, undo it. I'm going to set it right in here. And now I'm going to take my little piece of nylon that I got. I'm going to see if I can work it into the hole. And just encourage him to back on out. Now last time getting him out anyway didn't really work. Go ahead, buddy. I had to just leave this in there, and I think that's what I'm going to have to do here again. He tends to come out only when he wants to, so even getting the little nylon on him, which I was touching him with it, he just does not want to back out. So you can see him moving a little bit there, but you're going to have to really shove him and bang him around. So I'm not going to do that. I'll just put the top back on, and like last time, I'll come down and he'll come out of there on his own, and he's all set to go. So we'll just, and again, see, this is the safe thing to do, guys. Don't worry about having to get them out of there. Leave them be, especially if you're making videos. It's kind of cool to see them move for the video and come out of there, but you know, even with that nylon, he, just like last time, he does not turn around quick. He tends to just hunker down when he's bothered. So you're just going to hurt him trying to get him out. So we're going to consider him done. I'll show you some video later that he's out of there, but let me get you a little better view of his enclosure here. Bear with the camera here just for a minute. So this is it. There he is. And I'm sure he'll come out of there on his own, in his own good time. There you get to see the branches that I've weaved through there, the size of the opening there that's underneath the enclosure, or the bark. And again, every enclosure I've had him in, he's been extremely active and busy in rearranging it. So it'll be exciting to see how much he webs that one up. So now we're going to go back to transferring the Brachypelma boehmei. Just a minute. Alright, we're back with the enclosure for the Brachypelma boehmei. So we got the much smaller one. I got one little piece of cork bark in there that he can go under. Much smaller area, so hopefully this will be a little bit better for him. We'll see. Now the trick will be getting him in there, because you can't, with this guy, you know, there's no room to really put the vial down in there, so you can see him right there, and he's turned around and right at the front of the enclosure, right at the front of the vial. So I'm just going to pop the lid off here, nice and easy, and who knows, let's see, his leg's touching it. So all I really want to do is get him to go down onto that cork bark. So let's try the little piece of nylon. He's facing the right way, and we're just going to try to touch his abdomen. Now he's usually pretty quick to go out. There he goes, and down along the side. So this did not work with the Cyriopagopus schioedtei lurch, but it did work with him, and you can see him now. He's down in there. So hopefully this will be a little more, oops, hate when it doesn't focus. There we go. Hopefully this will be a little more to his liking, but there he is. a successful transfer. So that's 2 that have gone very well. So all 4 that I've done so far have gone pretty well. I've had no escapees, none tearing off out of here. Of course, they're slings, so maybe that will happen as they get a little bit older. But I'm going to put the top on, and then I'll pick it up and show you the different views of it here, so you can see. And this top I did drill some holes in, and because this is the boehmei and they're like more of a dry region, I put about 80% cocoa fiber into this one and only about 20% of the sphagnum moss, so it'll keep it a little bit drier, which is what they like. But here we go. I'll show you. I'll tilt the camera up. Sorry again about that, but I'll tilt it up and you'll get the front view of it. I gotta zoom out. So there it is. And you'll see he's got the little hole right there in the front to go in the cork bark, and we'll see how he does in there. So the next transfer will be Bigfoot, who I've never transferred before, so we'll see how that goes. Bigfoot coming up next, and again with him, I don't know if you can see it, but he tends to dig himself under there and he's underneath, so I'm going to have to get him out of there somehow, get him back up onto the top of the dirt, and then get the cup in there. I've never moved him, so I don't know how, sorry about all this camera work, but I don't know how aggressive he'll be or how fast he'll be, so this should be exciting. Be right back. Alright, so the first thing I'm doing is I've got my little light here to locate where he is. You might not be able to see it here, but he's right, you're not going to be able to see it, but he's right along the edge here. He likes to get right over here, so in order for me to get him out, I'm going to try to take my paintbrush down here, the dull end of it, push it down here and get him to run up through his hole. So that's going to be the idea, though. His stuff is falling apart here. Alright, so let's see how that works. Make sure I'm well, that's not really working, because what it's doing is cramming all his dirt down on top of him. So what I might do instead then is just kind of dig some of that dirt out. See if I can kind of get down to him that way. Don't want to cover up his hole. So now I'll try to move the dirt away. Alright, so we got a bigger hole there now that we can see down into. His reaction is to burrow even closer to the other side. So he's right down over there. And now he's probably collapsed under there. There he is. So he is out. Successful. He's healthy. That didn't hurt him at all. I made sure to stay far away from him. And you can see him coming up the side there. So now the idea will be to get the vial in front of him. See if I can do it like this. Oh. Well, I don't know if you can see down through there too well, but I'm going to try to get him to go into the vial. Here we go, buddy. He's just backing up. He doesn't really want to turn. I want him to turn. There we go. And right in here. This is your friend. This vial is your friend. Yep. There you go. And voila. Success. He's in there, so not too tough for him either. I mean, he was a little trickier, much more quick moving, but he's in there. He's actually gorgeous. I mean, you can see the good markings on him already. So, but again, that worked out good. The key is knowing where he is in there. So I knew that where I was digging and moving the dirt, he was not in that area, and was able to safely get him out. So I'll move his new enclosure over and show you that. Alright, here we are back with the enclosure for Bigfoot. I went this time with it's the bigger 4x4 enclosure from Jamie's Tarantulas. Got the cork bark in there. It's dug into the dirt on this side here and then propped up against the plastic over there, so it leaves a nice size underneath. I'll show you that for him to go under and make his burrow. Just put a little bit of this silk plant that I got in this enclosure in there with it. Now with this guy, with Bigfoot, the Acanthoscurria brocklehursti, I've got about a 50-50 mix of cocoa fiber and sphagnum peat moss and vermiculite in there. Obviously not 50-50-50. The sphagnum peat moss and vermiculite are 50-50, and that's mixed with the cocoa fiber. So Bigfoot has very kindly turned himself around in here for me. So that means I can open the container, set him down in here, and hopefully just get him to come right out. Into his new enclosure. Now to assist him, I will again come back to my handy piece of nylon, which is flexible, and I should be able to get it to go down into that hole there maybe. Come on. Maybe it's not flexible enough. Put a little bend in it there. There we go. There he goes. And he is basically out. And there he is, guys, in his new enclosure. So I am liking this. That hole in the bottom, especially if they turn themselves around in there. Lurch didn't do that, the Cyriopagopus schioedtei. He's in fact still in the vial, but eventually he'll decide to come out of there. But there he is, right down in his new enclosure. Like I said, he's just gorgeous. So looking forward to him getting bigger. That's after his first molt with me right there. So I'll adjust the camera and show you, show you him in the new enclosure with the lid on. I drilled some more holes in the side of this one, but it also has this nice big lid. I'll adjust the camera and show you how this one looks from the side view. And there we go. Sorry about that, my big fat face in there. But here it is. So he's right there. And he's got room, you can see underneath that bark, to go down in. We've got some holes drilled. And hopefully he will be happy in there for a good long time. So there's a nice shot of him right there. So that is it for transferring these 3 guys today. So here's the end result.